What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cherokee Hacks Life. So today I wanted to talk about the Fitbit Flex, which I've had now for about 6 months, and the Fitbit Force, which I just received. I wound up purchasing it because I saw that it does have some pretty cool differences, and honestly what I would say should have been the original Fitbit Flex from the very beginning. You can almost call this one Fitbit Flex version 2.0. So let's kind of go through it real quick. So at the very onset, one of the big things you'll notice is that this one is obviously larger than this one. And there's a reason for that. The cool thing is that with this one, you click it and it tells you pretty much everything you want to know, from how many steps you've taken, how much you've traveled, how many calories you've burned, how many steps or flight of steps I've taken. This is actually accurate. I've only taken one flight of steps up here. And how much activity or how many minutes I've been active. And of course it tells you the time. So the cool thing is it's kind of like a watch. The other one, not so much. It's very basic in its design. You tap it and it gives you kind of like a percentage in terms of 20% of where you are towards your goal. You get to tap it and it kind of does several different things in terms of, if you tap it 5 times, it'll go to sleep. If you tap it twice, it'll show you how many steps you've taken towards your goal. So that's kind of the big differences between the two. But it actually goes more profound than that. Over time, the biggest problem that I found with the Flex was it actually starts ripping, right? So if you notice, that shouldn't happen. Part of the problem is because every time you want to charge, you got to take out this little thing. Now you notice that it's kind of gooey and kind of wet and stuff. This is because when you're using it, it's waterproof, right? So you wear it all the time. You wear it when you sweat, you wear it when you work out, when you take a shower, when you jog, everything. Your sweat kind of gets caught up in there. And one of the big downfalls of this, be happy that YouTube doesn't allow you to smell stuff right now, because it actually smells really bad. And the reason it started ripping on me is because every week or so, I found myself having to clean this thing out all the time to kind of stop it from smelling really bad. And it's because the stale water kind of gets trapped up inside. So that's kind of a flaw in the design. Otherwise, it works great. It does everything that it was supposed to do. But the design itself was flawed in that it wasn't a contained device. Now, with the Force is actually a contained device. And the big difference with this one is you actually have to get fitted for your right size. So if you're a female, typically you'll probably be on the smaller size with the wristband itself. If you're a male, you'll probably be on the larger side. But they actually made a cool little way that you can measure it. So you could just put your wrist onto the side. And if it falls within this line, then you're small. If you fall in this line or larger, then you're large. Very straightforward in that regard. But the cool thing is that it's contained all in one piece now. So the only difference is that the actual charging device, it's actually sealed in as well. So no longer do you have to worry about having some stale water being in there and actually getting that funky smell. And if you guys are Fitbit Flex users and you know exactly what I'm talking about, it does get kind of annoying. You have to keep drying it off. With this one, you shouldn't experience that at all. And of course, the biggest advantage is now you have an LCD screen on the front that you basically just push the button and it'll tell you exactly where you are with your goal. No more fumbling around, going to the app, seeing exactly where you are towards your goal, how many steps you have left to take, how much your activity is. It kind of removes the app in that instance, but there's still some useful information from the app, such as, what times were you the most active, how many steps at what time of the day were you more active and stuff. If you really like getting really micromanagey on, if that's even a word, if you really want to micromanage the way you actually do your fitness lifestyle, then that's probably still the best way to actually go through it. But this is great because it gives you an overview and it's a watch. It's pretty cool. Another big difference between the Flex and the Force is that this time it actually tracks as well how many steps how many stairs you've taken, which is pretty cool. Before, you honestly couldn't track that. You kind of just had to kind of tell yourself, yeah, I'm going to take the steps today, or take the steps up to my office or whatever, and that's kind of the way you did it. At least this way you kind of know that you actually went through some steps. But if you don't have steps, then I don't know. Honestly, that's pretty much the only differences between the two. Obviously size, a little bit heavier. This is obviously a little bit heavier than this one, just simply based on the size, and it's a contained device, which this one is not. Hopefully this one is a lot more durable now since it is a contained device. This one, I had to start being very, very fragile with it after a while, very, very careful with it, because I started noticing it started to rip on me. And again, that's because I was just cleaning it out because it started getting kind of nasty in there. Now overall, the big question is, which one should you get? My opinion, it kind of depends on how much disposable income you have. If you're already in a position where you're like, ah, cool, I could spend 150 bucks on a device to help me track my lifestyle, help me track my fitness, then go with the Force. If you want to go the cheaper route, holidays are right around the corner, go with the Flex. If you're not sure if the person that you're giving it to is actually going to use it as often as it's intended to be used, go with the Flex. It's 100 bucks, it's 50 bucks less, and they'll still like it. It does the exact same thing. The big difference is, it doesn't have a display. That's pretty much it. Other than that, they'll enjoy the Flex. But if you're a hardcore trainer, or if you really like keeping track of your stuff and you like having the fact that you can see exactly where you are step by step every single time, you can just click on it and see exactly where you are, go with the Force. For an extra 50 bucks, you can't go wrong either way, to be honest with you. Probably should have been called the Flex 2. I don't know why they called it the Force. I have no idea. But that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. As always, like, subscribe, check out my previous video as well on the setup, on the Flex as well, and on other reviews that I've done on previous products. As always, guys, catch you on the next video. Talk to you later.